everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Ryan Ennis. Ryan, how's it going, man?
Things are going well, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. It's almost Christmas. We got like 2 days left. Just trying to enjoy, all the quiet time because from what I was seeing on the news, apparently tomorrow is supposed to be like the craziest day of the year.
For shopping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I got
And
all my
travel,
shit done.
last minute gifts, yeah.
I can only imagine what it would be like in the city.
A nightmare.
Yeah, because I've had to go to, like, Walmart, and in the town I live in, it's, like, 5 minutes from my house just for, like, local random stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's just been, like, chaos where you couldn't even, like, get through, and I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, I was supposed to be in Manhattan today, but I ended up not going to physical therapy. I felt like poop this morning.
Yeah, well, that's been
I
rough
still
on
don't
you.
feel. Yeah, it's a long fucking commute, bro.
Yeah, you said it's like it's like 2 hours in total, right?
2 hours each way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember you would telling me before I think you said you were reading the original It book, like, on the way there.
Yeah, and I was reading like 200 pages, like, per trip.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I like reading.
Well, no, I do too, but that's a lot. Well, I could understand if you...
Oh, no, I'm lying. A little over 100. That's a more accurate. About 100, 125 total per trip.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
One other
I'll
quick
teach myself
thing,
engineering books, so.
and she'll probably yell at me if she can hear me. Today is my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Mrs.
so
Joey Railroads.
Yeah, so for everyone that's listening, happy birthday, Mama Railroad.
Mama Railroads.
Yeah, she's
That's
turning
awesome.
turning 21 today.
Hi, it's amazing.
I know, that's the number she always tells me. I'm 21 now forever.
I can't wait till I get to the age where I can just consistently be 21.
Yeah, that's like the running joke. But no, I was gonna go like buy her something, but I was specifically told, do not buy me anything. So I said, all right, fine, I'll take you out to like dinner or something, nice like that coming up. So we're gonna do that.
That's nice.
Yeah, because there's a local Italian place not too far from where we live that we know the family, and we'll probably go there. So that should be fun.
You guys, like, you go to a Spanish place and order quesadillas?
Yeah.
I want one of them quesadillas.
No, I'm not one of those people.
A quesadilla?
Yeah, nope. That's not me.
Good to know.
Because I'm in Little Tijuana, so I can't get away with that.
Oh, okay, there you go. Little
All right, before we get started on all the shows this past week, there's some news that's happened. Apparently, Vince has sold, I don't know the exact amount of shares it was, but
I think it was about 3 million shares. It was about $100 million worth.
I was about to say it was about $100 million worth of shares. And to jumpstart his new business venture, I can't remember the name of the company it was going to be called.
Alpha?
What is it?
Alpha something? Alpha Sports?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And the rumors are that it's going to be the relaunch of the XFL.
Yeah, he apparently trademarked a whole bunch of shit recently for the XFL.
I know it was XFL, He Hate Me was one, and I forget the others. But they won't, like, confirm or deny it. But I'm trying to remember. It was like January 25th. I think he has like a press conference planned.
I don't know if it's a press conference or if he gives his financials.
Okay.
But yeah, there's something coming up.
There's something he's gonna like, be around the press that he could potentially like announce the return of the XFL. Which, to be completely honest with you, if the XFL back in the day was a 5-year plan as opposed to the way they did it, it might actually still be around today.
Possibly, but you can't change the rules too much.
No, I agree. I mean, there were certain things that the way they did it, it could have worked, but there were certain other things they did that were too quirky.
Well, I mean, it's got to be a sports league,
Yes.
And I've heard people say, well, look at all the people who are protesting in the NFL. They're not gonna go watch some fucking league of nobodies just because they're protesting the NFL. That logic doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yep.
If they really cared about football that much, they'd be watching the NFL. And and you're talking the people who really are gonna go, well, here's an alternative. I'm gonna watch that instead. Man, that number is so low.
Right. It's a niche market.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Because the reason I say that is because I watched, I don't know if you did, but I watched the 30 for 30 ESPN films they had on the XFL. And some of the stuff they did, the NFL uses now.
Oh?
The
cameras.
The Sky Cam, I think, is their the one that, I don't know if you consider it a Sky Cam, but it's the one where it's over top of the gameplay.
But still, he started a football league, and all that came out of it that people use is a camera.
And there's something else they used. I can't remember.
I think it's stupid.
It's probably destined to fail again, but like Lance said, when they did the women's cheerleader locker room stuff, he said, "I knew it wasn't for me. I want football, not bad WWE writing."
No, that's exactly the problem.
Well, the other main thing I remember is the very first thing you saw when the XFL...
Does a guy get hurt?
That, and the other thing was a promo from The Rock to open even before the first game. Which I was yeah, this isn't going to work. I hope it does, just because it would be interesting. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. It's just, I don't know.
The other thing I read was Cody was talking about the show that him and the Bucks were talking about doing for the 10,000 seat venue, that they were basically going to put out their own money for. It looks like they said they found a venue, and it's probably going to be in Chicago.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is going to lead to ton of speculation and rumor mill shit now about CM Punk coming out and wrestling because it could potentially be in Chicago.
Are people really thinking that?
I'm assuming probably some are, yeah.
Because that's just stupid. Oh, it's in his hometown. He's going to be there. It's fucking stupid. He's training for MMA. He's not just going to go back after he left in the manner in which he left.
I know what you mean. He's just going to snap his fingers and change his mind to instantly go back to wrestling.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Your body isn't just suddenly in shape to go back to wrestling. And a UFC fighter can't just do wrestling. It's not the same amount of cardio that's needed.
No, absolutely not. Because with, MMA stuff, you're not, you have, rounds and then you get a little break. Wrestling, you're basically full board.
Yeah, and for a lot of the time, it's a lot of lifting, it's a lot of athleticism, where it's like guys can gas out just by throwing their arms around.
Yes, that's very true.
So
All
I mean,
right.
it's like if you can get gassed out that way, and all of a sudden you have to run, you have to lift. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I think
I agree completely with you. I think it's totally underestimated at times. Um, Now, I wanted to talk about this, even though it was brought up on Raw. Um, they announced that there's going to be a women's Rumble match at the Royal Rumble this year.
I'm all for that. I am.
I'm intrigued by it. I will say that.
I've heard people go, "Oh, it's gonna be a clusterfuck." What are men's rumbles?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, but on NXT within the last month, I'll say, I don't remember exactly when it was, they had a women's rumble, and it was done very well. It was
Okay.
I think it was the
Was
one
it a
in,
Rumble or Battle Royal?
well, Battle Royal. It was the
But
one.
yes,
I'm trying to remember. I think it was the one Ember Moon won.
I believe you're right for the final spot for the Fatal 4-Way.
Yes, that was well done. That Battle Royal Rumble, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think like the women should experience what that is like.
No, yeah, I don't know how many they're gonna have because I've heard 20 and then I've heard 30. So I
I've
don't
heard
know.
only number I've heard confirmed is 15, but that was old plans. But there's 22 on the roster now, so like just on the main rosters.
Well, there you go. So it might be 20 or 30. We'll have to wait and see because they still have a good 6 weeks or so till the Rumble. I think it's about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which is interesting in itself because Raw hasn't had a standalone show since before Survivor Series,
You are correct.
which you would think it would have been the other way around, but it's still interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
But I think
I'm
I'll be
curious.
disappointed and angry if it's all built up just to give it to Ronda Rousey. I will say that. I will be
Yeah,
salty
I would
as
be
fuck.
really annoyed if that's the only end game. I was just going to say that, Lance. He said, "Who do we think would be surprise entrants in it?"
I believe Trish made a comment about what, like, now wear them boots.
Yeah,
But
I could see
if you,
Trish or Lita or both.
anybody who's still wrestling, I could easily see Karma.
Yeah,
Like, you never know.
I'm trying to.
Any of the women from the CWC, I could definitely see somebody like Piper Niven in there, like just because she's the size. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think Lita and Karma definitely would probably do it because it's. I don't think they would be in very long. It'd be more so for like name value.
But yeah, think like Karma, Tamina, Naya, and
Like you said,
fuck,
any
there's-
of the girls that were in the Mae Young.
well, yeah, but just think about like Piper, Karma, Naya, or Tamina. Like those are the big,
They're big girls.
like the super heavyweights. If you want, well, I don't know about Tamina, but the other three definitely. Like if you wanted to consider like the super heavyweights, like that'd be something, and it'd be a way to get somebody like Naya over.
Yeah. Because I think
Not over, but like like
I think
she
that's
could
what
have
they're
her spot.
probably going to do. Have Naya and Tamina have like another stare down or whatever in the Rumble,
Yeah,
like they did at Survivor Series. It almost feels like that's leading to them probably going 1-on-1 at Mania.
Either that or just building something for future reference, like
Yeah, that too.
just especially because it was Raw and SmackDown. Well, here's like the biggest Raw girl versus the biggest SmackDown girl, just because it's Survivor Series. I don't know if they were going to be building towards anything.
Yeah, no, it's just a total, stab in the dark, I guess you would call it.
Oh, I understand.
All
But
right.
yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot that they could do.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of different things they could do, and a lot of those girls are talented, so it will be fun to see. All right.
Yeah.
Before we get started on the pay-per-view, don't forget to check out our sponsors over at the Squared Circle Magazine. You can find them on Twitter at TSC Wrestling Mag. Don't forget to use promo code ASCPOD and you can get 20% off your next order. All right, Clash of Champions. What were your thoughts on Clash of Champions as a whole?
I didn't think it was bad.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the better triple threat matches I've seen in a while. Tag match was really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first two matches, with the Corbin match, was really good, and like you said, the tag match was fantastic.
Yeah, the Corbin match, I really actually enjoyed all of them in there, and I liked the surprise of Dolph winning.
I like the way they did it too, where he hit the zigzag, I think it was, when Corbin went and did the Samoan drop, I think at the same time.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that looked really good.
No, I agree. Yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I walked away going, well, there goes the best match of the night. And then the tag match was even better.
And I gotta say, man, since the Usos turned into this, New Day one-ish, they've really kind of solidified, wow, they're probably the best tag team on the roster.
I think you cut out, bro. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I said the Usos, to me, since they switched and went they're more face now, but they proved that they're the best tag team on the roster.
Yeah, I was actually very, very, very surprised, but in a good way, with how over Rusev and Aiden English are.
I love it.
Oh, so do I. I think that is as wrestling of a gimmick as you're gonna get. Everything is Rusev Day. It sounds so fucking stupid on this. I know the gimmicks that I really enjoy are the ones that if I try to explain to a non-wrestling fan, they look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, they look at you like you're an idiot.
What the fuck you talking about? That. Yes, you don't get it. That's great. Rusev is fantastic.
And the funniest thing is, it started all on social media. That's how it got going.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's one of the most over people on the show.
And that translated to Aiden English also.
Yes.
He was over as fuck. That's the most over I've seen him. And yes, they were in Boston, which I hate saying this being from New York. They're one of the hot, smart crowds.
Mm-hmm. But it's starting to carry over.
Yeah, they did such a good job on that one. That crowd was amazing.
Well, and I've always said I like Rusev, because they're finally letting him show his personality. But the other thing I really love about him is his over the top facial reactions.
Well, yeah, his mannerisms are what makes him. And then yes, when he's happy, that elation face. I know what you're talking about.
That or when it's almost 3, 2 3/4, and that despair, are you kidding me face.
Yeah.
He does it. He does those little things so good.
Yeah. And that's stuff you really can't teach.
Yes. The other thing about this match, and it's not a knock on them because I feel bad for them, but Gable and Benjamin do absolutely nothing for me. They're boring, no personality.
Well, Gable can work, and when
Yes.
they let Gable work, I mean, Like, that's the problem. They're trying to make him entertaining instead of just letting him go out there and be a good wrestler. I mean, for all we know, he's personable. Like, I don't know.
I personally think they should have let him stay where he was as a singles guy and kind of find himself. You know what I mean?
I think he should have been Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah. I think that probably would have been better.
Because I'm not going to say that interracial isn't believable, but the guy kind of looks like Kurt Angle. Like, but with hair. The guy, I believe, is an Olympic wrestler, like Kurt.
I believe you're right.
I mean, it's just, that to me makes more sense than like, hey, let's just put Jason Jordan.
No, you're right. And like Lance was just saying, Rusev Day is over by accident. Everybody loves it. And he says he's afraid that WWE's logic will be, okay, so we have to kill it now.
Well, I kind of liken it to like Z2 Long Island Story.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen like that.
I mean, well, or like that, Zack Ryder got himself over.
Yeah. Like, he didn't need the machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what we forgot. The Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder fight. Terrible.
Yeah.
Mojo's garbage. I keep tweeting Mojo Rawley. Like, imagine being a kid and waking up and getting a Mojo Rawley action figure. Imagine the disappointment on a kid.
That's horrible.
There's nobody in the history of life. Mom, I want a Mojo Rawley action figure. No.
I'll tell you this. You talk about terrible, and I know they tried, but that Charlotte and Natty match didn't do it for me.
I did my dishes.
I know you told me this. Well, the thing
Makes me
is
sad to say that I had to do, but I was like, I'm so tired of these two women. Like, I just couldn't care less. They fought like 400 times. I don't need to see this. I want to go do my dishes.
And it's not so much that. It's like when Natty tries to be a heel, it's like over the top, and it's like kind of just like more
comic-y.
Yeah, and like abrasive.
Like
you know, like you don't care. And that's not a knock on her. It's just it doesn't do it.
No, WWE stuff with her over the last, how long?
Decade?
I just don't give a shit about her anymore. Yeah.
And then
plus, you know what? I don't say this about lots of people because I don't really because I don't know the politics, but she's never struck me as a great wrestler. So I don't know if she has the job for any other reason other than, like, you notice that they always mention that her uncle is Bret Hart, but they never mention that her father is Jim the Anvil.
Yeah, so I guess they didn't want to pull like the Marty Jannetty card, you know?
I mean, he definitely was the Marty of that duo, but it's just like her Hall of Fame uncle, Bret. But what about her father, who was his tag team partner?
It's like her jockstrap holding father.
I just, but I don't know if she's one that's benefited from she has a job because of her family ties. Plus, like her husband will never wrestle again because of wrestling.
Yeah.
I just, I don't ever remember going, man, that was a great Natalya match.
I know what you mean.
And I just, I know there was only a handful of Emma matches that were great, but they were good. You know what I mean? Like, they were really good.
Yeah, I know. They stood out.
In 10 years, I've never seen anything from Natty where I'm like, wow, she's a great worker. Like, she's a workhorse.
Or,
she's
like, you would,
a strong lady.
Would say, okay, like, I have to do dishes, but I'm not missing this match.
Oh, exactly. It would have had the same kind of like importance that the other matches had to make sure like I didn't want to stay up late and I knew the dishes had to get done. That was the match that I picked. Like, and that was just because I'm so tired of it.
I'll say this, dude, and we're both the same way. I love Kevin and Sammy, but I don't think they could have made me care less about a match the way they had this like gimmicky with the two referees.
I actually liked how it ended up because Daniel Bryan got to do what traditionally a heel thing with the fast count and still walked away looking like a babyface.
True.
It just was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I want your opinion on something, because I asked somebody else this, and it doesn't matter to me either way. You know, they can do whatever the hell they want. But is it me, or did Shane look like dramatically like bigger?
I mean, the guy's an avid boxer, and he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he put on a little bit of muscle.
Yeah, because he looked like, and maybe it was what he was wearing, but he looked like a lot bigger than what I had seen him recently.
Yeah, I think that was a tighter. I know what you mean. Like, he definitely looked, but I don't know if he was, because you can usually tell in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you know.
Because I'm not trying to, like, accuse him of anything, but I was just like, wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, he could just be a little bit more active. So, I mean, like, you know, it shows a little bit. I mean, he does have his dad's genes.
That's very true also. But, I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this stuff with him and, with Brian and Shane.
I don't know. I mean, like, I would love to think that this is a big work and that, you know, he's already gotten cleared.
I know, because that, if you asked me today what you think was going to happen, I was like, the way they're building this up, almost, you know, makes you feel like him and Shane are going to, you know, eventually, like, come to blows and, like, settle it at WrestleMania.
I mean, and I can also see that being a safe match for Daniel Bryan, because he doesn't have to worry about, like you can pretend fight safely. Like, you could pretend brawl, like how Austin changed into as he got older.
Yeah.
Less
Absolutely.
reliance on, like, you know, suplexes and drops and stuff like that.
Yeah, you just got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it's more punches, kicks, you know, like delayed stuff.
Yeah.
Not delayed, but
Because Austin had to change his style.
yes.
And I'll say this about the main event. I thought Jinder probably had the best match I've seen him have since he came back.
Yeah. No, that was a good match. I mean, like, I enjoyed it. I expected him to lose. Fucking AJ Styles. He hindered Jinder.
I mean, granted, AJ can usually get the best out of everybody, so I don't know if it's a trend, so we'll have to, like, see. But I was gonna, that reminds me, the other thing, because I had mentioned this to you earlier today. Jinder came out in an interview he did and said that he has been working with a torn labrum in his shoulder since September.
Yeah, I wonder to what degree, though.
I know, because I was going to say it can't be that bad, because if it was, like, really bad, they wouldn't let him wrestle.
Yeah, it's just because I don't think he would have strength in it.
That too.
But, yeah, that's crazy. Either way, that's crazy. Even a slight tear in the labrum, you know, for him to be working through that. Like, that's what got me laid up. That was my initial injury.
Yeah, I remember. And that's, for those that aren't aware, that's what happened to Finn Balor too. So it
Well,
can't
Finn
be...
was a torn labrum, torn, like, part of the pec tore off the bone. It was like 4 different injuries with him at once. It had something to do with that whole area. I think something in his bicep tore.
Yeah.
That was categorically worse than mine.
Right. No,
Which
I'm just...
he's back to work and I'm not.
But, that makes me believe if he tore it, it's only like a slight tear.
Yeah, but yeah, a tear is a tear. So, but yeah, I mean, he worked through it. But I did hear reports that he had a shoulder injury about that time.
Right. I was gonna say, well, then it makes sense why his matches might have not, you know, been the greatest during that time.
It's very possible.
You know what I mean? But I mean, kudos to him for, you know, gutting it out and working through it.
I agree completely.
Yeah, because that's brutal. All right.
No, that really is.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see here. Let's keep it rolling along. What did you think of Monday Night Raw this past week?
Uh, Raw was alright, but I think we started with Raw, Mike. Joey.
What's that?
So I think we started with Monday Night Raw, didn't we?
No, we just talked about the pay-per-view.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's right. We just happened to mention the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't know. I wasn't necessarily thrilled with, Raw other than the end. Not a lot on Raw does it for me. SmackDown's what I prefer.
Yeah. I agree with that. And, I mean, I know they're trying to, like, kind of piece it together with the Braun, Kane, and, like, Brock thing for the Rumble, but I'm just kind of, like, indifferent to it.
Yeah, I mean, Braun should go over. I don't want to hear about fucking Brock Lesnar.
Oh, no, he should have went over the last time they wrestled. I thought they missed a big opportunity.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think Braun should have that title. I think Braun should be going into Mania as champion.
Yeah, I always said they should have let him have a little bit of a run and see how he could do, or how, like, you know, how show numbers looked, and, you know, how they all grade a champion, and see if it, you know, if it worked or not.
Yeah, no, I agree fully.
The other thing I just remembered we forgot to mention now that we're talking about Raw is, for those that were unaware, Dean Ambrose underwent surgery, I think it was on Wednesday. He tore his tricep tendon,
Yes.
which sounds incredibly painful. But they don't have like a time frame of how long he's going to be out yet.
Well, that sucks for him.
Because I had read a couple different things, like if he completely tore the tendon, it could have been like 6 months. And then I've read like maybe 9 months, you know, depending on what was done. And so they really haven't, like, you know, put out a timetable.
No, but yeah, I mean, everybody heals different, so I can definitely understand that.
And like Lance just said, darn, just when I was looking forward to seeing the Bar wrestle Dean and Seth again for the 50th time.
I'm always ready to see those guys wrestle.
Yeah. And then I heard that Jason Jordan is going to be the guy replacing Dean Ambrose.
Oh man, they're trying so hard to get him over, and nobody gives a flying fuck.
Well, I think it's a mistake, because it was like, correct me if I'm wrong, they looked like they were leading somewhere for Jordan to eventually like turn heel.
It could still happen.
That's true. But I agree with you. I don't know if that's the best fit for him, you know. I will say the other thing I liked that was cool was seeing Hideo Itami come out and help Finn Balor.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You hear me now?
Yeah. No, it's just because I wasn't sure if you were hearing me.
No, it's good. No, I was saying I enjoyed Itami coming out and helping Balor.
Me too. I thought that was really cool to introduce him.
Yeah, because it makes him feel like important and special, like he's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how long it'll last, but
he just needs to stop screaming "respect me" in the ring.
Yeah.
I seen that on 205. It's like, respect me, respect me.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Paige screaming, "This is my house."
Yeah. No, I agree. You respect me.
I will say it was cool to see the Revival finally back.
I was afraid one of them would get hurt walking down the aisle.
Here's a question I want you to answer, Rye. Lance wants to know, does a Tommy always wear granny panties? I've never seen him before, so I don't know.
I think that's the only pair of trunks he owns.
I know. I just wanted to hear your reply to that.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else other than those granny panty kind of trunks, yeah. The brown and black. Even in Japan.
That's crazy. Well, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about on Raw that just it irked me a little bit, and we briefly had discussed this earlier in the week. But when they announced about the Rumble for the women, I was annoyed because right before they announced it, and Steph came out, all the women on the roster were trying to destroy each other, and then after they announced it, they're all like hugging each other.
I read that was legitimately the first time that they had heard it confirmed.
Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, like, it
I
would have
guess
been
I'm
great
like
if...
old school where it's like, no, you don't do that.
No, I'm with you. I would have had that, like, they all celebrate and then have Absolution just attack. At least one of them. You know what I mean? Like, just lay out one of them. Like, be part of them all cheering and then just lay one of them out just to preserve the kayfabe just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't care for that. Because that's just... yeah, I saw that and I was just like, ugh. You know, because that's very no-no, at least for me.
Yeah, I just thought it was badly timed. Because you could have done such heel shit with that, and they just didn't.
Yeah.
Like, they could have had Absolution attack. And then, okay, you still had your natural reaction, but then you still had the heel be a heel.
Yeah. I agree with that. All right.
But I'm excited for it. I think it's awesome. I think women deserve a chance. Even if it's terrible, I think there should be one every year. I don't think it dilutes the Rumble match by having two.
No. Because I've heard people say that online.
It's like one has nothing to do with the other. It doesn't. The men's isn't less special because the women have one.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's silly. At least it is to me.
Yeah, no. To me, I think it's ridiculous because how does one has nothing to do with the other?
I know. All right.
And there have been some really bad Royal Rumbles, so this is a bad Royal Rumble.
93 is one that comes to mind.
Yeah, there's a handful in the 90s that were terrible.
That's the one that usually sticks out of my mind. All right.
A couple in the mid 2000s that weren't that good.
Yeah, that's true. Before we head over to SmackDown, everybody, you can find our entire catalog of stuff and some other stuff. There's so many things, I'm trying to remember them all off the top of my head. Over at B Plus Player Radio, the best way to find all that stuff is on Twitter, and you can find that on @B Plus Radio. Now, what did you think of SmackDown this week?
I thought SmackDown was okay. I liked the fact that they didn't jump the gun immediately on either a full heel turn by either of them. I don't know. I feel like Bobby Roode just isn't important.
They made him feel not important.
Yeah, they've haven't been doing a very good job of making him glorious like he was in NXT.
No, because, yeah, they made him feel special down there.
Absolutely. And now he kind of feels just like a regular guy.
Yeah. I will say this. I enjoyed the match with Gable and Benjamin against the Usos. I was just surprised that they let them win.
Especially clean.
Yes. I mean, I like the match. Like, you know, they're talented with what they do. They're just boring.
Yeah, no, I agree fully. They are not an entertaining team.
Yeah. And I gotta say the tag match with Charlotte and Naomi didn't do it for me.
Yeah, no, me neither. Neither of them really do it for me, so.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
But she's been the one, in my opinion, that's been carrying the load for those girls, because I kind of expected more from Sarah Logan, and she's kind of just been bleh.
Oh, yeah, but it's only been a couple weeks, and they really haven't allowed her to do much. They kind of just want her to be like a fucking hillbilly.
Yeah, like a sidekick. Or at least that's how it feels.
Can you fucking, I have skin an animal and blah, 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 blah. I go in the outhouse because I'm from West Virginia. Yeah, I got none of them fancy running toilets in the house.
Yeah. Dude, that is hilarious.
But when she opened up her mouth, I was like, yep, she's going absolutely nowhere.
Oh, shit, that's great. Now, what did you think of the Ziggler promo?
Interesting. Very, insidery, shoot-ish. I have no idea where they're going with it, though. Where do you think they're going with it?
I don't know. But it felt very... How do I want to say it? Like when Shane Douglas threw the NWA World title down back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
I mean, it was definitely something different, and, that's refreshing. I wonder what they're going to do going forward.
Right. Like, I wonder if they're going to keep him off, television for a while, or, I'm really intrigued to see where they're going to go.
Do the Summer of Punk the right way?
Yeah, maybe. Either
Just
way,
have him come back afterwards and be like, I'm still the champion.
Yeah. Either way, I thought it was interesting and different.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely different. Yeah, I'd like to see where this goes.
And they're they're trying something different with Ziggler. I mean, at least they have a plan, it seems like.
Yeah. And it sure as fuck seems that way. Lance
said that the Urban Toughies copyright is pending.
Yes, it is. By Rygo Enterprises LLC.
Yeah, that's the new Usos name. You are hereby christened the Urban Toughies.
Yes, sir. They are the Urban Toughies.
I gotta say, Rye, for the main event on SmackDown was actually pretty damn good for a 6-man.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually not fans of 6-men, especially on TV.
Yeah.
They're usually kind of just hodgepodge thrown together like clusterfucks.
And you feel that this one was done better?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
I agree.
And I thought AJ kind of did some pretty cool shit in the ring in this one.
Yeah. I just like the fact that Jinder wasn't garbage match. You know what I mean? They're still having him.
Yeah, where they just didn't throw him to the wolves.
You're not the guy anymore, but
yeah, because you know this. Usually when when a guy loses the strap, that he like plummets down the card.
Yeah, I mean, especially a guy like him.
I was gonna say, especially a foreign heel.
Well, and a guy who used to be a job guy only.
That too, because the reason I say it, and granted, it wasn't the world title, but when Rusev had the U.S. title and then he lost it to Cena, he was just kind of like wallowing in like nothing.
No, I agree fully.
So that's why, and Lance has said it before too, where it's like, you know, they got nowhere else to go but down.
Yeah, no, I agree with that fully. I agree 100%.
So yeah, that's why I agree with you in that sense, that they're still making him feel and like appear to be a big deal.
I agree fully.
Let's see here. I'm trying to remember. All right, well, let's just head over to this. What were your thoughts on 205 Live this week?
I like this stuff with Gulak and Enzo, but it's just getting old fast.
Yep.
Other than that,
Cause
I saw Kalisto get hit in the face with a water bottle.
Yeah, did you hear about that? Like he might have like fractured something in his face.
Really?
Yeah. Because his wife put up
crazy.
like a picture of like the inside of his mouth, and it's all like black and blue and like all like disgusting.
That's terrible.
I'd have to like find it, but I saw it. Here it is. Hang on a second, because I was reading about it. Yeah, his wife put up that he suffered a possible fracture and had to undergo an MRI and got stitches.
That's crazy. Fucking people are nuts.
Yeah, that I was just like, you know, why? The dude didn't do nothing wrong.
Fucking people are pussies, man. You know, in a million years, they would never do that.
Oh no, I call them like the keyboard warriors.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what they are.
But no, what I was gonna say, dude, is I completely agree with you with the Gulak stuff. It's like it's getting old really quick.
Yeah.
And I like Drew. I will tell you another thing.
Like the Enzo stuff is getting fucking old.
40 years. I'll tell you the thing I really don't like is the stuff with Kendrick and Gallagher.
No, I actually like that.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just him. I'm just like turned off by it. 'Cause I like Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, I love Gallagher. I think he's great.
The other thing I thought it was cool, even though he was just there to get like squashed, basically, was seeing Colin Delaney again.
Yeah. I have no nostalgia factor for him. I mean, I couldn't give two fucks less.
Oh, I know. I just thought it was funny. And Lance is saying that Gulak is the John Laurinaitis light version.
Except he's entertaining. I've never found John Laurinaitis even remotely entertaining.
No, and his voice was annoying as hell to me.
I agree.
Yeah, it was just like, ugh.
Yeah, it sounded like he smoked a heart in a day.
No, yeah, it was bad. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you know, did they give an exact date yet, Rye, when the Facebook thing is supposed to start?
Yeah, when they announced it, they announced the date. I don't remember. 12, 13, 16, somewhere around there.
Okay.
If you go to their there's a mixed match challenge Facebook page, all the information should be there.
The reason I ask is is because it's coming on at 10 o'clock, correct? Like right after SmackDown?
I believe so, yeah.
I wonder what 205 Live's fate will be.
10:30.
Is it supposed to be a half-hour show?
Yeah, I believe it's only supposed to be half hour. There's this mixed match challenge thing, I think. Not positive.
Yeah, okay. No, because I was just curious, because they already can't keep people in the audience, you know, for 205 Live right after SmackDown ends. So why in the hell are they going to stay now an extra half an hour to till 10:30? You know?
Oh, I agree. Imagine they have the mixed match challenge pay-per-view.
Ooh. It's possible.
I hope not.
Well,
it's like Taboo Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I also read, because I mentioned before, they're doing 205 Live specific house shows. It's only in like 3 or 4 towns on the East Coast.
Yeah.
They're actually going to have Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy wrestle on those shows.
I think it's weird booking, but I guess it could kind of make sense.
I'm figuring it's because, like, if they can't get people to buy the tickets, because from what I understand, tickets are selling poorly to come. They wanted, I guess, to have like an attraction match that people were actually going to want to come and see.
I think it's cool that there's. I mean, like, I wonder how big of a venue they're going for.
I don't know. I can let me see if they have like the venues up that they're going to run. Because it's supposed to be 2018, I believe, that they're doing it.
Yeah, January.
Let's see
Sometime in
here.
January.
Give me a second. 'Cause I'm looking for them. I found the story. I'm just trying to find. All right, here's the places now. Like they're in Poughkeepsie. They're running the Mid Hudson Civic Center.
That's a decent sized building.
How many?
I don't know how many seats, but it's a decent size.
Let me see. I could probably find out. Cause I'm fairly certain they used to like have Raw there back in the day.
They did. Yeah, the Mid Hudson.
Let's see. I'm trying to see how many, like its capacity, how many it can hold. Let's see here. Bear with me. It doesn't look like a lot. Yeah, it looks like, you know, I'm a bigger indie, I guess you would call it.
Okay.
Okay, here it says the capacity to hold 3,050 spectators.
Okay, so it is a smaller venue. Okay.
Lance is saying he thinks he heard that they're going to run some 205 Live shows single, like by themselves out in Western Canada, but he's not 100% sure.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if the market's out there.
Yeah, I would be curious if they would be able to draw.
Yeah, that's my big concern.
Because that's,
Like,
I think, the main reason they put Bray and Matt Hardy on those cards, because they were having trouble drawing fans.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I know this was just like those couple shows were just like a test run, I think, to see if it could work.
I just think that it's silly that they're going with 205 before they start going with NXT.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. You know how Vince is.
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. NXT. What were your thoughts on the show this week?
Really good show. Anything with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne makes me happy. I'm very happy with the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good match.
It was really good. Like, I enjoyed it.
And it was cool to kind of see them get the straps.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I like NXT, because things like that can happen at just a regular show.
Yeah, where you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
That was a good episode, because, they've had a couple where it's kind of been, like, lackluster. That one was good.
Yeah, like, this week's NXT I thought was, like, fantastic compared... Not that the other ones are necessarily bad, but they, like, really loaded up this one.
This is the one that should have been on TV.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Even though seeing Aleister Black and Adam Cole isn't, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, but you had two... I mean, like, they're not names most people know.
Well, yeah, that's true also.
So if you're going to throw a whole bunch of names at people that they don't know, you might as well give them fantastic matches. And both of them, I mean, like, Pete Dunne should be on any list of matches you're going to show somebody who's not really a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not just saying that because I really like the guy. The guy's fucking great. The guy makes wrestling.
Yeah, he would be able to draw in casual fans.
Somebody could watch him and be like, wow, like, A, they know he's a bad guy. He wrestles like a bad guy. You could just tell he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And, like, he does stuff there that makes you go, like, wow, like, that looked cool. And he looks believable.
Yeah.
A lot of his submission stuff. Like, body slam, people could say that's fake. But, like, or they have no point of reference. If someone's bending your finger back and then stomping on your hand, like, that's a feeling that more people can relate to.
Or like when he's in the one match with Gargano, he spit out his mouth guard and bit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pete Dunne. I really enjoy his work too.
He's fantastic.
But I'm trying to remember what else was on here this week. Oh, your buddy Lars Sullivan and Roderick Strong was really good too.
Oh, yes it was.
I really like what they're doing with Lars Sullivan.
Me too.
I think
and
I've said this before, if they like take their time with him and don't rush him, he could be like a major player.
That's possible.
My concern would be is they're going to rush him.
Yeah, they need to give him some time to grow. He's green as fuck.
Like, he needs at least another year down there, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen.
Well, there's only one way to see.
No, I agree. That's what I wanted to talk about briefly, too, because we had touched on it last week. Final Battle. Were you shocked that Dalton Castle won the Ring of Honor World Title?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was very happy. I love Dalton Castle. I think that is one of the best Mexican wrestlers I have for a while.
I'll say this. And this isn't a knock on Cody. When he came out with his hair dyed, that was like just really strange to me.
Well, if he's wrestling a lot in Japan, it makes sense because like villains in Japanese stuff tend to have like the silver or white or blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like it fits his character perfectly. If he's doing it for like wrestling reasons, it fits him perfectly.
Yeah. But I thought the show overall was pretty good.
I only watched the Dalton Castle win.
Okay. Well, did you and I should have mentioned this earlier when we started with news. I apologize. That War Machine is apparently signed with the E.
Oh, there goes the Bludgeon Brothers gimmick.
Yeah, because that's what I had read, that they're doing like all their medical and physical, all that shit now.
Well, that's good then. I mean,
Yeah, I shouldn't be that much of a stretch that they signed, considering Sarah Logan's married to one of them.
really?
Yeah, she's married to Ro.
Oh boy. Well, good for them.
Oh, absolutely. That when I saw that they were coming, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, well, there goes the Bludgeon Brothers.
Now you won't have kick pads to complain about.
Yeah. But to be fair, my first thought was, I'm like, oh boy, they're not going to know how to use these guys. And I know I shouldn't say that, but that was the first thing that popped into my head.
It's not wrong.
I know. But I'm intrigued to see either way, because I've seen both of them wrestle as a team or as singles guys, and they're fantastic either way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're used.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of them as singles guys, too, because I actually saw Warbeard wrestle a singles match at an indie show, and he did like moonsaults and all kind of like crazy shit. I couldn't believe it. Because the first time I actually saw him like live, and I was like really like, he won me over that night.
Well, that's cool then.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what they do with them.
Yeah. Real quick, did you hear that Jericho is actually going to be working another show for New Japan?
Yeah, the next night. It's kind of like the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'm intrigued to see, like, because from what I understood, what you just said, it's like the Raw after WrestleMania. And curious to see if he leaves after that or if it sets up something new for him. Or, like, you know what I mean? That he's going to stay there.
I'm sure he's going to go wherever the money is.
Oh, absolutely. Either way, I'm Jericho always seems to find a way to like reinvent himself and keep people talking about him.
Yeah, I can't wait for that match. So that's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's almost here. It's what is it? The 4th?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
I know they just put up like the final card, so I was like really excited for that. What does it come on, like 3 a.m. here?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm usually up at 5, so I might get up and watch it.
No, I think I'll have my alarm set for that one.
Like Lance had told me before, he hasn't gotten like goosebumps or really excited about like something in wrestling for a long time. He said when he saw that Jericho promo to challenge Omega, he was like, yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I feel the same way, where I'm just like, I'm fucking stoked for that. And honestly,
I'm super excited.
I know people think it's like the main event, but there's a ton of good like amazing matches on that card.
Well, it's a double main event now, and now now Jericho said, like apparently Naito was pissed that it's a double main event, and Jericho said, well, he could still take solace in the fact that it says main event, even though just because he's going on last doesn't mean that he's the main event, meaning Naito. And he said, and if he doesn't like it, tough shit, because that's the wrestling business.
Ooh, wow.
I don't know if he was cutting like a heel promo, like if he's taking this to the umpteenth level.
Which is very possible with Jericho.
Yeah, but if you look at how he's cutting, like his interviews and stuff, it's almost shoot like.
Oh, it's I love what he's like. It's like super heel Jericho.
Yeah,
I love it personally.
me too.
Like it's, yeah, man. I wish he could be more like that. But on that note,
Apparently here it's gonna be 2 a.m. here.
oh, 2 a.m. Okay. Ooh, I don't know then.
It starts at 11 p.m. on the West Coast.
Lance might be able to pull it off because it starts at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Because he's usually up half the night anyway.
Yeah,
But
that's Wrestle Kingdom 12, January 4th.
yeah. But on that note, Rye and everybody else, we're going to get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to check out our social media pages. You can find them at facebook.com/American Sports Connection or on Twitter at ASC Pods. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff. And we'll see you back next week. Have a good night, everybody.